So welcome back, welcome to video 3 now of our lesson 3 for the intermediate level of people learning French. So j'espère que vous avez tous passé de joyeuses Pâques. So we had our festival, une fête de Pâques. Qu'est-ce que vous avez fait? So a little bit of past tense practice. So we looked at verbs that take être. We know there's 14, 15 plus all the reflexive verbs, the majority of which also take avoir in their past. So you've got avoir, j'ai, tu as, il, elle, on a, nous avons, vous avez, ils or elles ont, and then you add your past participle, your past bit of the verb. So I have drunk, I have eaten, so j'ai bu, j'ai bu, qu'est-ce que vous avez bu? Pendant Pâques, vous avez bu du café, vous avez bu du vin rouge, vous avez bu du vin blanc, du cidre, du thé, je sais pas. What did you eat? Qu'est-ce que vous avez mangé? Did you receive any eggs? Vous avez reçu des œufs. So this is un œuf. The plural is des œufs. Donc, est-ce que vous avez reçu des cartes de Pâques? Vous avez reçu des œufs en chocolat, des œufs au chocolat, des œufs de chocolat. So egg, Easter egg, chocolate ones. Did you do an Easter egg hunt in the garden by any chance? Vous avez fait une chasse aux œufs de Pâques? Je sais pas. Did you watch television? Vous avez regardé la télé? Did you go out for your exercise? So to go out was sortir, to go out, wasn't it? Remember? So it's one of our verbs. That was upside down. No, it's right way up. So we've got our verbs that take être, and we've got going out. So vous êtes sorti pendant le week-end de Pâques? Did you go out for your exercise pour faire de l'exercice? Oui, je suis sortie pour faire des promenades avec le chien. So, did lots of dog walking. Je suis sortie pour aller au travail, à l'hôpital. I went out to work at the hospital. Okay, so I could say I went out to work. Je suis sortie pour travailler, or I worked. J'ai travaillé. Vous avez travaillé aussi, peut-être? Okay, so a few verbs to express the past tense, actions that are finished in the past, which we talked about. What about if you're describing what it was like, though, over Easter? So, what was the weather doing? We were looking at the imperfect tense, wouldn't we, which was what something was going over a period of time. We looked at that as regards the timeline. So we said things were going on, it was sunny, the birds were singing, the house was old, the people were walking by. It was very quiet, there wasn't any traffic, and then things broke into that, past actions broke into the long continuous action in the past. So it was sunny when I went out for a walk, it was sunny, or the sky was blue when I went into the garden. So finished actions, what we'll be looking at, but the imperfect actions, just a bit of revision on the imperfect, is here. So we said we take our first person plural of the verb. So if you take a typical ER verb like parler, ER verb, nous parlons, you take off that ending, you've got parle, and then you just add your ending. So you've got the je is AIS, so je parlais, I was speaking. Tu parlais is the same ending. Il, elle, ou on is AIT. Il, elle parlait. Nous parlions. So you add the little I in to make it imperfect. Instead of nous parlons, nous parlions, we were speaking. Vous parliez. Ils or elles, il or elle with the A sound at the end sounds like this one. The singular sounds like the plural sounds like the singular. So il parlait, elle parlait. So you wouldn't know from saying il parlait if it was he was speaking or they were speaking. You would know if it was a verb beginning with a vowel, so il avait, ils avaient, because of the liaison with the S with the vowel, but otherwise you wouldn't necessarily know. You have to wait for the meaning from the sentence. So if you were saying probably not speaking, but if you were saying it was lovely weather, which it was for most of the weekend, so to describe the weather, we're usually going to be using faire. So if we take the nous form of faire, it's nous faisons, isn't it? F-A-I-S-O-N. So you've got that bit. So il faisait beau. It was sunny. Il faisait du soleil. Il faisait chaud. Most of the types of weather you can use faire. If it was raining, I think it's going to rain on Friday this week, but I can't remember. I don't think it did at Easter. Maybe parts of the country it did. But raining has got its own verb, which is pleuvoir. So il pleuvait. Wasn't snowing, but that would have its own verb as well. You wouldn't use faire, you would use neiger. So il neigeait. Il pleuvait, il neigeait, or il faisait. So it's describing what it was doing. Also a state of being. You were happy, you were bored, hopefully not. But so j'étais, you would use I was, okay, or we were. So j'étais, or nous étions, contents. J'étais contente, with an E on the end, feminine. Nous étions contents de rester chez nous. We were happy to stay at home. Nous étions contents de pouvoir sortir pour prendre l'air. We were happy to be able to go out to have some fresh air as well. Okay? Good. So that's a very short recap on the imperfect tense. So we can now really describe things that happened in the past over a long period of time, how you were feeling, a state of being. I was happy, I was sad, it was quiet. So if it was quiet on the road, there wasn't any traffic, wasn't much traffic, you could say c'était tranquille. There wasn't, or there weren't, so you take our phrase il y a and put it into the imperfect. Il y avait, but if there wasn't, you make it negative. Il n'y avait pas beaucoup de circulation. Hein? C'était tranquille le week-end de Pâques parce que il n'y avait pas beaucoup de circulation. There weren't any tourists. Il n'y avait pas de touristes. Hein? So, okay, so it was quiet, and then we can describe our past actions using verbs with être. So, I went out, je suis sorti, I arrived home after work at 7 o'clock. So how would you say that? I arrived home. So we've got our, where's arriving over here. Je suis arrivé. How do you say at home? At mine, at my house. Chez moi. Je suis arrivé chez moi à 7 heures. If you're just talking, you can just say the normal clock. If you're using timetables in France, they tend to use the 24-hour clock. So 7 heures would be 19 heures. Okay, 19 heures à 7 heures. Hein? C'était une longue journée. Hein? So I left the house at 6:30 in the morning. So if we're leaving the house, you can use partir if you want to, which I'm trying, here it is. So partir, or quitter, which is an avoir verb. So typically I could say j'ai quitté la maison à 6h30. Hein? J'ai quitté la maison à 6h30 les deux matins, samedi et également dimanche. Hein? Dimanche aussi. Or I could say je suis parti de la maison. So it's partir de. Okay? So if you want to say you left the house as opposed to going out, which is a bit more general, but to leave is partir de. Je suis parti de. So je suis parti, I'd add an E on for me, wouldn't I? We left the house. Nous sommes partis. Hein? Nous sommes partis de la maison à 7 heures ou à 6h30, whatever you like. And they arrived back. They arrived at their house at 7 o'clock. So they arrived would be ils sont arrivés at their house. So it was chez moi, chez nous, at our house, chez eux. Chez eux, ils sont arrivés chez eux à 7 heures. So each time you're speaking with je or nous or il, you have to change the pronoun at our house, at your house, at their house, to match the person you're talking about. So je suis arrivé chez moi, tu es arrivé chez toi, il ou elle est arrivé chez lui, if it's him, chez elle, if it's her. Okay? If it is on, and you don't know, on est arrivé chez soi. soi, S-O-I, which is very rare to use really, but if you're using it generally for one or they, you could use that. Nous sommes arrivés chez nous, vous êtes arrivés chez vous, ils sont arrivés chez eux, EUX, elles sont arrivées chez elles, adding an S. So there's quite a lot to think about with those strong pronouns at mine, at yours, theirs, at his or hers. They're the ones that you would use after words like pour, avec, sont. So pour moi, so you're in a coffee shop, you say for me, I'll have a coffee. For them, they'll have beer. So pour eux or pour elle, plural. Pour lui, for him, a cup of tea. Pour elle, une limonade, etc. So moi, toi, lui, elle, pour lui, pour elle, pour nous, pour vous, those are the easy ones. Pour eux, pour elle is the plurals, okay? And also you say, I go with them, je vais avec eux, je vais avec elle, je vais avec vous, je vais avec toi. So those are used in the same way. So I call them the strong pronouns, standing alone after a preposition like avec, pour, sans, without, sans moi, sans eux, sans elle, sans nous, okay, without. So the task I'd set you was these verb sheets, do you remember? So I'd asked you, the week before you did the passe composé, didn't you? I haven't used my glasses for these. So we were looking at the pluperfect particularly. So the pluperfect we said is going back a tense. So if you had already done something, so I had already when she arrived, so I had, you take your imperfect, had done, so j'avais déjà mangé when she arrived, quand elle est arrivée. So we had already finished tea when he arrived. So nous avions déjà fini de manger, le dîner. Nous avions déjà fini dîner, to eat, dinner, quand il est arrivé, for example. Okay, so had already done. So we were given donné, didn't we? So we had donné, so it would be j'avais donné, j'avais donné, j'avais donné. The next one, if I read it through, je finis. So j'avais fini, I had finished. Je vends. J'avais, the past participle, sold, vendu. J'avais vendu. Je vais. So je vais, is it one of these? Je vais is one of our verbs that take être, is aller. So I had gone. You need the past of être. So you take, this is an irregular, isn't it? Because if you take the first person nous of être, it's nous sommes. So we don't need some, we use être. So j'étais with our ending AIS. So j'étais arrivé. Oh, sorry, j'étais allé. I go. Je vais becomes j'étais allé, adding your extra E if you're feminine. Je fais, j'avais fait. Je viens, well, venir is one of these here, isn't it? So je viens is here, venir, to come. So j'étais venu. What would the plural be? We had come. Nous étions venus. Okay. Je suis. So we're using the past of être. So être in its past takes avoir. So it would be j'ai été. I have been. I had been. J'avais été. And it doesn't agree because it's an avoir verb in the past. So j'avais été. J'avais été. Right. Je bois. J'avais bu. Je m'habille. Slightly more tricky with a reflexive because you've got the je, you've got the personal pronoun me, then you've got the past participle at the end, and then you want to decide whether it takes avoir or être. So it's the bit of être you need. So je m'étais habillé. I had got dressed. Okay. Then we've got nous sommes at the bottom and vous avez. So nous sommes, well, we know that être in its past takes avoir. So we had been, nous avions été. Vous avez. So interestingly, avoir is an irregular past participle, is eu, and it takes avoir. The avoir takes avoir in the past. So vous aviez eu. You had had. Vous aviez eu. Okay? So that was our pluperfect column, which we looked at. And then we had a bit of practice, a couple of sentences, which we practiced from the grammar sheet. We'll look at in a second. The middle section was a subjunctive. Ooh. So the subjunctive is just to practice, really, and to look at the more common ones that you might see if you're reading. You will hear it used in speech as well. But some of the common ones are typically être, faire, aller, avoir. They will look quite different in the subjunctive. Some of them won't look too dissimilar. So the first one, je donne, it looks exactly the same. So je donne. And the subjunctive is used instead of the indicative, which is more definite day-to-day mood, they call it. It's not a tense as such, it's a mood. It's the definite factual assertive. If there's an element of doubt or wish or desire, or used after many phrases in French, it will be subjunctive, the subjunctive mood, and it will look different. The tense, the actual way it's conjugated is different. So it's used after things like bien que, afin que. So bien que is quite a good example. So although, bien que je fasse mes devoirs, je ne fais pas beaucoup de progrès en ce moment. Well, we're not having our classes face-to-face as such. We're doing this online. So although I do, bien que je fasse. Okay? So that would be the subjunctive or faire. So let's have a look. So we've got donne is the same, really. Je donne. Finir, je finisse. Je finisse. Je vends becomes je vende. So let's look at those first three. So je donne, je finisse, je vende. So here you've got finisse with this double S-E. Here you've got vende and ending in an E. So with, I said aller is an important one. So I, A-I-double-L-E, j'aille. Je fasse, so we spoke about that one earlier. So je fasse in your example. Okay. Je vienne, I come. Je sois, so this is one that you might see quite a lot. The plural soyons, and that one is actually used for be it or let's be. So soyons contents de rester chez nous. Let's be happy to stay at home. Soyons. So that's the new form. So je is je sois, je boive, and je m'habille looks the same. So that's the subjunctive, just a whistle stop, a quick tour of the subjunctive tense. But the past historic, interestingly, is one I want to look at now. I just want to show you the board I prepared with the endings, because the past historic is the passe simple. Now they call it the passe simple, the simple past, because it's only got one word. It hasn't got two parts to it like the perfect tense, the passé composé, the composed past, which is composed of two bits. It's composed of the auxiliary, the have, I have done, I have eaten, which is also I ate, I did, and the past participle. Whereas here you've just got one word. So with an ER verb in the past historic, which is the literary past tense, you don't speak it, but if you see it written down, you'll know what it is. So, je parlais. We don't really need to say it because we won't be speaking it, but it ends in AI. The tu is parla. The il and l and on is parla. So, AI, AS, A. Nous parlâmes. That is quite different to look at, isn't it? It's A, circumflex or roof accent, MES. Nous parlâmes. Vous parlâtes. So, these are very, very different to see. ATES, still with the circumflex. And the il or l plural is parler. So it's E grave accent going that way, R-E-N-T. So I would say the plural forms do look substantially different, especially the nous and the vous, okay? Now the IR and the ER are quite straightforward because they're the same. This is for regular verbs, of course, so you might come across some irregular ones on your journey. But you've got finir as our IR example, and you've got attendre as the RE example. So if we look across, we've got je finis, with an IS. J'attendis, ending in IS. You've got tu finis, tu attendis, both ending in IS. Il, elle ont fini. Il, elle ont attendi, ending in IT. So far, so good. Nous finîmes, that's IMES. My board hasn't wiped off too much. Nous attendîmes, so that's I circumflex MES. Over here it was an am with an A, here it's an I, im, both the same ending though. Vous finîtes, so ITES, so you finished, written past tense. Vous attendîtes, the same. And il ou elle finir, il ou elles attendir, so it's IRENT, IRENT. Okay, so that's what they look like. So of course, at your leisure, you can stop this and copy these down, or you can look them up in a book, which is what I do sometimes, which is this book, which is a very, very good book. I'm going to recommend it now, is the Shomes Outlines French Grammar. This is the 4th edition. I haven't seen one after this or before, but this is an excellent book. It takes you through in chapters with basics of gender, le, la, un or une, plurals, les and des, when you'd use them, when you'd use du, when you'd use de la or des, prepositions, which is a big chapter in itself, so that's a very important area to look at in any language, prepositions. And then you've got a huge chapter 5 which covers all the verb tenses. So it starts off with the regular, the present tense, and it gives you irregular verbs. It will give you the imperfect tense, and it will give you lots of pointers as to when you use the imperfect tense to help you. So for things like toujours, souvent. So if it's a repetitive, often, always, in the past tense, I always used to do this. We often used to go there. You'd use the imperfect with those set expressions, okay? Whereas with the perfect tense, things like suddenly, tout d'un coup, soudainement, you might use je suis allé, on est arrivé. So it's a sudden action that just happened. It would be a pointer for an adverb to point out that you'd be using the perfect tense. But if it was something that happened a lot, tous les jours, tous les matins, quand j'étais jeune, tous les matins, je me levais à 8 heures. When I was young, I always used to get up at 8 o'clock, for example, for school. Okay, and then it will move on to the pluperfect tense, which is this handout here, which is the pluperfect, which is from that book. And then it will go on to the future tense and the conditional as well. Okay, so just going through the past historic then of these same verbs. So we've already seen that the ER verb ends in AI, so je donnais. The IR verb was an IS ending, je finis. So I've given you those on the sheet. Je donnais, je finis, je vendis. So it ends in the same. Now, aller, surprisingly, is regular looking stem, so j'allais, so you keep A-double-L and you just add the AI, quite straightforward. Faire, good old faire does change, so je fis. So this is why I wanted to show you this past historic tense, because if you like reading French books or French poems, you will see this an awful lot, and you'll come across this word fis, and you'll think, what on earth does that mean? And you'll think, oh, it means I did. Or if you see il fit, F-I-T, it or he did. Okay, it's from faire, so it's just simply the past of do, did. But it will look quite different from faire, so it helps you. This one as well, je vins. So in the past historic for il, it will be V-I-N-T, and you'll see that quite a lot in the written form. Je fus. Okay, so you've got je fus. This one is from être. So je fus, I was. Il fut, or it was. F-U-T. So you'll see that one a lot as well. Bu, looks the same as fut, bu, and drink. Je m'habillais. Nous fûmes, so we were, from être again. And eut, so j'eus, E-U-S, would be I had. Il eut, E-U-T, would be he had or it had. and vous eûtes is on your list here. So the ones to look out for particularly are from avoir, il eut, il fut, he was, il fit, he did. Those are some of the ones you're going to see in literature, which are quite common, which you might need to look out for. Now, so for a bit of homework, I'm just going to read out 6 sentences, and because we were going to be looking at the pluperfect tense, I just want you to put them back into the pluperfect tense for me for next time. So rewrite the following sentences according to this example. So the example they give is Je suis parti et ensuite il est entré. So I left and then he came in. So we're putting it back a tense. I had left when he came in. So I had left. So we're saying had in English, but remember it's an être verb. It's one of our, on the castle or the fortress. Okay. So j'étais déjà parti. I had already left. When he came in stays the same. Quand il est entré. Okay. So j'étais déjà parti. So the next one, first one then, example is Je suis revenu et ensuite elle est entrée. Je suis revenu et ensuite elle est entrée. So I want you to put that into the pluperfect tense. I had already come back when she came in. I had already come back, okay? And be careful because it's je suis revenu. So you don't see revenir on here, you just see venir. But anything that's got the prefix re, revenir, is also a verb that takes être because it's the root of it is venir. Number 2. Elles ont déjeuné et ensuite je suis arrivée. Elles ont déjeuné. They had lunch. Okay. Elles ont déjeuné et ensuite je suis arrivée. Number 3. J'ai fini mes devoirs et ensuite le téléphone a sonné. J'ai fini mes devoirs et ensuite le téléphone a sonné. So I had already finished. I had finished my homework. You're saying, not I finished my homework, but I had finished. So j'ai fini mes devoirs et ensuite le téléphone a sonné. Number 4. Elle a écrit la lettre et ensuite son ami a frappé à la porte. So you can see that the way this is going, they're putting ensuite. This had happened and then something else happened. Alright, so they're using ensuite. You could say puis for then, couldn't you? So number 4 was Elle a écrit la lettre et ensuite son ami a frappé à la porte. Number 5. Les voleurs sont partis et ensuite la femme a crié. Les voleurs sont partis et ensuite la femme a crié. And the last one, number 6, nice reflexive for you to finish off. Nous nous sommes couchés et ensuite il est revenu. Nous nous sommes couchés et ensuite il est revenu. Maybe the most difficult to last. Okay, so bonne chance, good luck. Passez une bonne semaine et à la prochaine.